Hey guys, it's Jamie here, bringing you Recovery Inspired Hope. Today I have my very good friend with me, Holly Barker.
Hi.
Holly is the founder of a brand new organization called Give Recovery a Voice. And Holly also is on the board of directors for ARC.
That's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your position there.
Yeah, so I am the chairperson of the board of directors, and basically that means I represent a group of volunteers that come together. Some are allies, some are in recovery, and they help the organization of ARC kind of navigate big things like budget and future, growth and things that the day-to-day team doesn't necessarily have time for because they're kind of in the trenches working one-on-one with clients. And so I have the privilege to represent that group.
That is awesome. And you do so much in the community, and we're so thankful for Holly. She does so much amazing stuff here. And you also run your own business too, right?
I do interior design and some other creative things, but to be honest with you, that's something that's less of my time fills up. It's started to be more recovery focused on the forefront of things that I do with my time.
Yeah, because you have such a passion and a drive for it. Where does that come from?
Well, to be honest, it was a tragedy that I experienced in my life. March 31st of 2017, my younger brother, my only brother, overdosed from a long struggle with addiction, and he passed away. And he, like I said, struggled for so long, and I just didn't know how to help him. And that experience gutted me in a way that nothing I've experienced has. And so I just started asking questions. I didn't know at that time what I could offer the world of recovery. I wasn't a counselor. I hadn't ever struggled with substances, but I wanted to help somehow. And the questions and the mutual connections that I found led me to ARC. Mm-hmm. And I sat down with Brandy Anderson, the founder, one day and told her my story and pretty much offered to clean or cook or something, because at that time I didn't know that I was valuable to the recovery community as an ally. And so fast forward now, and I represent recovery within the community, and I advocate and I educate so many people about what addiction is and how to be part of the solution.
And what's the best part, the most fulfilling part about being an ally in recovery?
There are a lot of good things. This was a tough question. I could answer it 20 times over and have a different answer every time. But something that I've noticed just probably in the last 6 months is that when I volunteer, when I share my time, when I advocate for recovery, when I sit down with people that are in active addiction, or I get the privilege to sit down with folks in the program at ARC and talk to them and be a part of their life, I feel closer to God. I mean, I feel like I'm doing God's work. Like I'm hands and feet of Jesus, the hands and feet of God. It's this closeness to my higher power, which is God. And I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm doing something to be part of the answer, to be part of the solution, to help people change their life.
Mm-hmm. And since coming and joining the recovery family, because that's what we are, we're like a family, and you're very much a part of that. Since joining it, from the beginning, what have you seen that has changed in the recovery, in the world of recovery?
Sure. I think that one of the things I've noticed is that, well, first of all, I've noticed that Athens is a wonderful area to be part of recovery. Mm-hmm. Athens champions recovery, and it's cool to be in recovery in Athens, mm-hmm. and so diverse. But I see the recovery community, all the different programs, all the different RCOs, all the different organizations coming together and really becoming a team and a force. Mm-hmm. They're not in competition with each other. It's a group effort, a team that is trying to reach the same goal, and they're partnering with each other and working together to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that growth happening and continuing to happen.
Mm-hmm. And also the movement about, just like your organization, give recovery a voice.
Absolutely.
We are no longer sitting here being anonymous. We are no longer sitting in silence.
Right.
We are empowered and we are sharing our testimony, and we have found our passion and our purpose through our pain. Just like what you with your brother.
Yes.
And it gave you a place to turn that into a passion. And we're so grateful that you're such an awesome part of our recovery family. And what would you tell like somebody who is looking on the outside that maybe doesn't have any issue with substance use disorder, but would like to get involved but doesn't really know how? What kind of advice would you tell them?
Yeah, that's a big question for those who don't really know recovery, because there's still a stigma. There's still that preconceived judgment that a lot of people have. They only know one story about addiction, and they need to know many stories about addiction to get a clearer view of it. But I would say ask questions. I mean, that's where I started, is I asked a friend of mine that was a nurse. I figured if anybody knew, she knew where to start.
Right.
And she knew someone that was in the criminal justice system that works with recovery programs and works with our local government. I talked to her, and she introduced me to ARC, and so I was able to get involved right then as a volunteer, volunteering my time, and it started helping me to learn more about recovery, which helped me grow into this position that I am now, and this purpose that I feel like I have.
Mm-hmm. And your new the new organization that you have, Give Recovery a Voice. Tell me, what are your hopes for this?
Okay, it's a big question again. I'm actually a little scared because I don't know where it's gonna go, but I have experienced in recovery the power of a story.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The stories that I've heard, I mean, they've changed my life, and they've been medicine to my heart. When it comes to my brother, he wasn't able to beat his addiction, but he dang well wanted to. And so these stories are how people, the stigma's broken, how people are educated, how they understand the humanity, how this is humanized. And so that's exactly what Give Recovery a Voice is, just a platform for recovery stories. That's it. It's not tied to one organization. It's not tied to one geographic area. Mm-hmm. That's all I see it as now, is just a platform to share stories of hope and transformation out loud. Mm-hmm. Throwing away the anonymity that some people need to do in order to embrace their story and to turn it into power.
Mm-hmm. It's a sense of freedom.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it does amazing things for people to hear it. Absolutely, for the transparency, the vulnerability of it. So if you have not gotten on her site yet to share it, you can either message me, you can message Holly. There's a link on an earlier post that I put, and we'll share it again on this so that you guys can share your story. And we thank you so much. And this is the amazing Holly Barker.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We love Holly so much. She does so much. Awesome. Bye, guys.